If we make a list of the most influential people in the world, Sir Isaac Newton should be right at the top. That's something we all know. Everything we see working in our daily lives follows the laws that Newton introduced. Simply put, Newton was the scientist who helped us understand how the entire world works. But in this video, we're not just going to talk about what everyone already knows about Newton. If you watch till the end, you'll hear some surprising and little-known facts about this great scientist. Things that even many history books don't mention. Born in the 17th century, Newton discovered the foundational concepts of calculus in his 20s. A complex branch of mathematics. Newton was the son of an uneducated farmer. In fact, he had never even seen his father, because his father died 3 months before Newton was born. On December 25, 1642, in a village called Woolsthorpe, in Lincolnshire, England, he was born a tiny, fragile baby. Many said it was a miracle he survived. At age 3, Newton's mother married a wealthy clergyman and moved to another village, leaving young Newton behind. Her new husband didn't want a child from a previous marriage. Newton was left in the care of his maternal grandparents. This early abandonment caused him deep emotional pain. That trauma led to years of psychological stress. In fact, Newton later admitted that he once thought about burning down his mother's house, with her and her husband in it. He even kept a list of the sins he had committed. As a child, he wasn't very interested in playing with other kids. Instead, he was fascinated by mechanical devices. At just 9 years old, Newton reportedly built a working sundial. At age 12, he enrolled at the King's School in Grantham. Even today, his name can be seen etched on a school bench. Later, after the death of his stepfather, Newton was briefly pulled out of school because his mother wanted him to become a farmer. But his schoolmasters saw his talent and convinced his mother to let him continue his education. In 1661, Newton joined Trinity College at Cambridge University. At first, he studied Aristotelian philosophy, but soon, he began to question it. In one of his notes, he wrote in Latin, "Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my best friend is truth." From then on, he dedicated his life to uncovering the hidden truths of the universe. Although his university life was fairly quiet, the Cambridge curriculum laid the foundation for his future breakthroughs. In 1665, Newton earned his bachelor's degree. But shortly afterward, the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death, spread across Europe. It got so bad that 1 in every 4 people in London died. As a result, Newton left the city and returned to his village home. And during that time of isolation, he made some of the greatest scientific discoveries in history. He studied how white light splits into 7 colors through a prism, disproving Aristotle's idea that light was made of black and white. He also invented the reflecting telescope, by using mirrors instead of lenses, which created clearer images. Newton even inserted a needle-like object into his eye, just to test how changing the shape of the eyeball affects color perception. His level of dedication shocked even fellow scientists. There's a famous story that Newton discovered gravity when an apple fell on his head while sitting under a tree. Whether or not that actually happened, what's important is that it inspired Newton to think differently. He theorized that gravity was a force acting across the entire universe, not just here on Earth. He proposed that planets orbit the Sun because of this same gravitational force. But at the time, the math available wasn't enough to explain planetary motion. So Newton created an entirely new mathematical system: calculus. There's a bit of controversy here. Some historians say a German mathematician named Gottfried Leibniz discovered calculus around the same time. But records show Newton had been using similar methods 20 years earlier. He just didn't publish them. In 1667, after the plague ended, Newton returned to Cambridge. He got so immersed in his research that he often forgot to eat or drink. By his late 20s, he became Lucasian Professor of Mathematics, a title later held by Stephen Hawking. Newton was only 27 at the time, the youngest person ever to hold the position. He didn't like public speaking and rarely gave lectures. Instead, he preferred working alone. In 1687, Newton published his greatest work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, often called the Principia. This book laid the foundation for classical mechanics and remains one of the most important scientific books ever written. Now, despite being deeply logical, Newton had a strong belief in religion. He believed that the Bible contained hidden codes about the end of the world. According to Newton's calculations, the world might end in the year 2060. He also believed the second coming of Christ would begin a new era, but only after wars and disasters. One lesser-known fact is that Newton was also an alchemist. He secretly studied how to turn base metals into gold. Some believed this could lead to creating a philosopher's stone, a substance that would grant immortality. After his death, Newton's body was found to contain high levels of mercury, likely from his chemical experiments. In 1696, he became Warden of the Royal Mint in Britain. At the time, people were clipping coins and forging money. Newton used his scientific expertise to help restore trust in the British monetary system. He was very strict about punishing counterfeiters, and under his watch, some were even executed. Something most people don't know. In 1705, Queen knighted him, making him Sir Isaac Newton. This great man died peacefully in his sleep on March 20, 1727. He was buried at Westminster Abbey. His tomb reads in Latin, "Here lies that which was mortal of Isaac Newton." The inscription suggests that Newton's name will live forever, just like the future of human knowledge. As the English poet Alexander Pope once wrote, "Let Newton be, and all was light."